of weaponized incompetence and why men get away with it. We about to make people angry, I feel, but I wanted to watch it. It's also called strategic incompetence, is when someone knowingly or unknowingly demonstrates an inability to perform or master certain tasks, thereby leading others to take on more work. This generally occurs in two domains: in the household between partners and at work between colleagues. Consistently weaponized incompetence leads to an unequal division of labor. Yeah, they use this example where the woman says to her husband, "I'm going to change and feed the baby. Could you make dinner?" And then in context of weaponized incompetence, the husband says, "Oh, but I'm such a bad cook. You're so much better. What should I make?" And then he starts asking her a bunch of questions until she's just like, "Oh my god, just never mind. I'll do it." And he's like, "Okay." And then he goes and plays a game or something while she does everything. And then oh, and here's an example of at work, an example of weaponized incompetence would be a coworker being like, "Oh, I'm bad at PowerPoint. Could you prepare the presentation for tomorrow morning? PowerPoint is your specialty." Yeah, because then you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." Where instead you should be like, "Oh, well, let me teach you." If it's unknowingly, then how is it weaponized or strategic? That part, I don't know. I'm interested to, I'm kind of interested on that end of it, because, like, if you're unknowingly doing it, like, maybe that means, like, you're unknowingly doing it in the context of instead of being like, "Oh, well, I'm not really good at cooking, so can you teach me?" You're just like, "Oh, I'm not good at cooking, so you do it." I don't know, but hopefully maybe we'll find out in this video. Weaponized incompetence? Nah, they just don't pay me enough to do more things for them. You know what? Fair. Fair.
If he can explain the blockchain in a group chat, he can figure out how the dishwasher works. If he can track his macros down to the gram, he can track household chores. If he can recite every single Joe Rogan guest from memory, he can read a damn recipe.
Can you do a roast?
I gave birth 2 days ago.
2 days ago, and you came out of the hospital straight away. You've been sitting around all this time, so you can make a roast.
It's been 7 days since I cleaned my kitchen. My son and I got COVID while my husband somehow managed to avoid it. The kitchen is so much worse than I could have imagined because the entire kitchen smells like vinegar. I don't want to know what these sticky substances are because the second that I do, I just want to quit.
What the hell?
I just mopped there.
Wait, what did that say? When you've been sick for 2 days and forgot your husband and kids don't know how to clean up after this. Wow!
I just mopped there.
Do you see where?
No way. Honestly, sometimes I don't know if, like, this has to be staged because I would literally lose my shit. I would actually lose my shit if I was sick and like that after I was done being sick.
Where I'm going with this. Today we're going to dive into one of my favorite topics, and by one of my favorite topics I do mean every time I see someone pulling this shit I consider making bomb threats. Actually, I'm not really good at introducing YouTube videos. Can you just do it? No babe, no, come on babe. You know I always mess it up. You're just so much better at it than I am. Remember the last time I introed a video? Do you want that to happen again? Fine, I'll do it, but it's gonna be bad and you're gonna be mad at me. Weaponized incompetence. I'm talking about weaponized incompetence. Weaponized incompetence, also called strategic incompetence, is when someone knowingly or unknowingly demonstrates an inability to perform or master certain tasks, thereby leading others to take on more woes. Generally occurs in two domains: in the household, between partners, and at work, between colleagues. Consistently, weaponized incompetence leads to an unequal division of labor. Fancy pants talk for pretending to be useless at really basic tasks and fucking it up so no one ever asks you to do it again. It's the adult equivalent.
Yeah, and then you have one coworker who's doing like literally all the work, and the other coworker is just kind of like coasting by, but they're still being paid the same, and you're doing all the work, but you're being paid like not as much.
For pretending to be asleep so you don't have to help take the groceries in. So why do otherwise capable people pull the I'm bad at it card? It's pretty simple. It's because it works. If you enjoy being a burden to your loved ones and driving a wedge in all of your romantic relationships, weaponized incompetence might be for you. Call now and you too can make your partner your unpaid personal assistant while you play 5 consecutive hours of Call of Duty. If every time someone does a task, they do it so badly that you have to redo it, you will eventually stop asking them to do it, right? And
yeah, pretty much. Yep, you would.
And just like that, they've gotten out of doing it forever. Weaponized incompetence can be used in just about any domain, including between co-workers, but by far the most common and pervasive is when it comes to domestic labor in relationships or marriages. Jobs like laundry, cleaning, cooking, childcare, etc. And you get $0 if you can guess who the most common perpetrators of this are.
I don't know how to use the laundry machine.
Men who are otherwise competent with tasks in their everyday lives and jobs suddenly have a room temperature IQ every time it comes to domestic labor and very simple tasks that everyone does every single day. Now, is this strictly a man thing? Is this gender specific? No. Women can be incompetent too. No, it's not gender specific, and women can also weaponize incompetence and
of
do.
course.
But there is a very, very strong trend.
Because there's the opposite where like the woman will be like, but I don't know how to use the lawnmower. So I can't mow the lawn.
Quite pervasive with men being at the helm of this, because it's usually concerning childcare and domestic labor, which usually falls to women. And we've probably all experienced this to some degree, whether it's at home, at work, at university with group assignments, God knows they're awful, in relationships, or just organizing things with friends. But today we're going to talk about the most prominent and widely discussed and observed version of this, which is this brand of men who are otherwise competent at work but become borderline feral at home. Let's have a look at a little example. This is captioned last time I let a man do the dishes, and I can only imagine what this is going to be. Can it be that bad? Oh my god, is that bowls?
You don't stack the bowls like that. Oh my gosh. They won't get cleaned. Depends on who is actually making money for the house, who has the job. True. True. However, I think in most households these days anyways, both parties are working full time. Most of the time. Not all the time. Not all the time. But yeah. Yeah, you gotta stack the dishes, what is it? Vertically? Yeah. However, maybe they don't know how to stack the dishes, the dish rack. So show them. Show them how to do it. Okay? Giving the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe they don't know how to do it. So show them how to do it, okay? But then if you've shown them like 5 times how to do it and they're still doing it like this, then there's no excuse. It's got to be a plate and all his buddies in a row. Then you got to have the Brotherhood of Bowls all together. Fun fact, dishwashers don't actually clean dishes. They only sanitize, so it's better to do it by hand. Sadira, yeah. Yeah, I don't trust it. Anytime I've ever used a dishwasher, as I'm taking the dishes out of the dishwasher, I usually find myself still kind of like rinsing them off or whatever. So now I just do it by hand and I find it way easier. So, y'all.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bro.
Oh my god.
And why is this still full of water? I'm confused.
So yeah,
I'm confused.
So yeah, it turns
I'm
out it can be
confused
that bad.
by this
Silly
whole
me.
scenario.
I refuse to believe someone is this stupid. What did he think was going to happen when you stack bowls and plates on top of each other where the water can't get in? How is that supposed to clean the me? This comment says, serve him food with those dishes and make him eat it. He knows that's not what you're supposed to do. That is just the right amount of petty to respond to this with, in my opinion.
Hold on, wait, I missed it. Serve him food with those dishes and make him eat it. He knows that's not what you're Here's your cereal and a bunch of water. Honey, it's fine. Hey, honey, I think the dishwasher is broke. I grab her hand. Does this hurt? No. I grab her other hand. Does this hurt? No. Why? It doesn't seem broken to me. The dishwasher seems perfectly fine.
That is just the right amount of petty to respond to this with, in my opinion. This comment says, put his Xbox in the dishwasher and say, oops, I didn't know. That is borderline evil and I respect it. Or even better, break up with partners that are fundamentally incompatible with a functional relationship between two adults. Google is free. You can put whatever you want into that search bar, including how to do chores that you could definitely figure out just by looking at it on your own. Things like household chores and basic maintenance are not things that you need to be coddled into learning. They are obvious, they are tasks that anyone can figure out without any direction if you really want to. Some classic examples of weaponized incompetence like this are pretending not to know how to load the dishwasher, choosing to clean or cook so poorly that no one ever asks you to do it again, claiming to not know how to do basic chores, doing half-assed work at a job so someone else has to fix it, refusing to learn how to do basic childcare tasks, being an irresponsible parent so that your partner can't trust you with the kids, expecting praise every time you do something that you should be doing anyway. Even things like asking a million questions about things that, again, should be obvious to you or you can figure out on your own. And all this achieves is making the process as difficult as possible.
The only part I disagree with is like right off the bat being like, oh, well, just you can figure it out on your own and stuff like that. Like, I think it's okay to show your partner how to do things. Like if it's the first time you're asking them to do something, whatever, and they're saying that they don't know, well, then just show them and stuff. But like, yeah, like I said, if it gets to being like the fifth time, fourth time that you've showed them and they keep just being like, well, I don't know, I need you to show me again. I need you to show me again. Then at that point, then I would probably be like, bro, I have shown you 5 times now. Figure it out. Those that do weaponized incompetence makes things worse for those who struggle to do stuff right the first time or require patience to teach, like many with ADA. What? Yeah, like, ugh. I like the praise because I lack the ability to produce dopamine and it helps reinforce the behavior that I already have a hard time doing. You know what? I always hear a lot of people being like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have to thank your wife or husband for doing the dishes because, you know, that's just something that they should be doing." And I agree and also disagree because, like, yeah, it's kind of what they should just be doing. Like, they would have to do that stuff if they lived alone anyways. But what's wrong with being like, oh, thanks, honey, for doing the dishes. I appreciate you. Like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Nothing at all.
Possible for your partner so they don't ask you to do that again. It all just acts as a deterrent so you don't have to pull your weight. Like this example, which is horrifying.
It's been 7 days since I cleaned my kitchen. In fact, it's been that long since I stepped foot in it. My son and I got COVID while my husband somehow managed to avoid it. So we isolated on the top floor. The kitchen is so much worse than I could have imagined. I don't even want to look in the sink. A huge part of me knows how bad it's going to be because the entire kitchen smells like vinegar. That means there's rotting food hidden somewhere.
Oh
I don't
my
wanna know what these
God.
sticky substances are.
I have to stop there. How?
Okay, I wouldn't do that. If I had COVID and I was literally bedridden for an entire week, okay, and I came downstairs and the house looked like that, I would not touch it. I would literally I'm sorry, but I would get into an argument with my spouse over something like that and make them do it. No way, because if you do it, then you're just letting them know that it was okay for them to not do it because you'll do it when you're done being sick. Nope. Hell no. I would lose my shit. I would lose my shit. Nope. I would be like, oh, honey, have you seen the kitchen? Because unless you're blind, which I know you're not, you better say yes. and then an argument would ensue until he cleaned the damn kitchen. The Stratera has helped me with the executive dysfunction, though. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Does an adult allow their kitchen to get like this? I'm not talking about the woman because her and the kid was sick. The husband. Look at this. This is
how do you let
fucking
your house get
disgusting.
like
this
that?
This kind of goes beyond being useless. Like you are a...
Is that how you would live if you lived on your own and your wife and you didn't have a wife and stuff? That's how you would live?
Disgusting human being if this is how you're happy to live, knowing your wife and kid are sick and you should be pulling more than your weight at that point in time. Like even just putting things like that drink in the bin.
Wow.
What are you doing? What is this? How much is your wife cleaning up after you all the time if this is...
And I feel like in a place in this kind of scenario, like let's say maybe the wife is a stay-at-home wife and the husband is the one that is providing. In a case where she gets sick like that, why wouldn't you help her out? Even if you're the one working and she's the stay-at-home parent, like, no, you're supposed to be a team. You're supposed to be a team.
What happens after 2 days?
Because the second that I do, I just want to quit.
Oh,
I
that's
throw away this cup
gross.
because there's no saving it.
Oh my god, that was
that
disgusting.
What on God's green earth is that?
There's no saving it.
That
And
was
a huge part of me
disgusting.
wants to feel shame over how the kitchen looks. The entire bottom of the sink is filled with old food.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I think I've seen the worst of it. I'm proven wrong. This is a smoothie that I made before I got COVID.
No.
I can't believe how disgusting things are. And I don't
Come
know how I'm
on.
going to get rid of the smell.
Oh
How
my
is this
God.
real?
Tear myself down over the state of this kitchen.
The thing is, why would she tear herself down over the state of the kitchen
How-
when it's...
How is that real? How is that real? I'm a natural provider and caretaker. I always step up and do more than when my parents' friends need help. Sometimes you gotta pull 200% as a married person. Spouse is sick, you gotta pick up that slack. Yeah, like, how could you sit there? Your friggin' spouse is literally dying in bed, and you're just like, I'm just gonna kick my feet up, relax, and they'll take care of all the mess and pile up of mess when they're done being sick. It's fine. It's fine. How could you sit there and be okay with doing that to someone that you care about? Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one seems like just laziness and a shitty person. I'm also stretching. Laziness and shitty person. Unless he comes in being like, "Oh, I don't know how to do it." And it's like you really don't know how to clean dishes, like seriously? You don't know how to clean stuff? Maybe some men are looking forward to divorce possibly being made harder in their country in the future. Then they could get away with more bullshit without their wife running off. You're trapped with me forever now. Like this. Any effort at that point is good effort. Yeah, just, oh my god, like honestly, just Google. If you actually are telling me you don't know how to do the dishes, literally Google it. Google, how do I clean dishes? I don't know, get a sponge and soap.
The husband that is at fault for this?
Most days I was too exhausted to get out of bed. And when I could force myself off of it, it was to take care of my sick little one. When some of my symptoms started to get better, I was working every day. I also did the laundry and cleaned the entire top floor. Acknowledging what I was.
Okay, so she does work full time. Great.
A working parent on top of all of this, what is the husband doing? I'm assuming his excuse may be that he works, but if she is also working and doing all the childcare and doing all of the cleaning, what is he doing?
The smell alone told me how bad it was before I even saw
That
it.
is...
But at the same time, I can also recognize I did the best that I could this week.
The fact that the angle of this is about what she could have done better and like her feeling bad is insane and speaks to the quality of their relationship. Now, we shouldn't draw conclusions about someone's life based off a 1-minute video on TikTok, because who knows, maybe this husband suddenly in a freak accident lost his sense of sight and smell and forgot absolutely everything he's ever known about being a functional adult and a decent partner and a decent father. It could have happened. Or maybe he's just a bit of a cunt. The simplest explanation is often the correct one, so I'll leave you with that. I don't think there's any reasonable excuse for allowing a small civilization to emerge in this cup, or potentially breeding COVID 2.0 in the sink. But the fact that she feels any blame for this while the adult husband doesn't care at all and handcuffed...
I want the husband's side of the story here. If you have a hard time with the dishes, you could at least organize them and rinse them and not leave food on them and throw away your trash. Yes, exactly. Didn't she say she was upstairs the entire time she had COVID? Now she is working. I call bullshit that she didn't see the kitchen when coming home. She was, yeah, when she was sick, she was upstairs. And then I guess when she got back, when she, like, felt better is probably when she found out about the kitchen. Some comment somewhere on that video about the man possibly being addicted to video games and using it as an example of why they should kick young men off the video games. Oh yeah, that's probably somewhere in the comments, I bet.
This whole situation really does illustrate the entire problem. When you've been sick for 2 days and forgot your husband and kids don't know how to clean up after themselves. Again,
like, to be fair, I can also come at this from the standpoint of, are they just doing this for the views on TikTok or whatever they're posting on? While part of me believes that this is not something that people are incapable of doing, like, I 100% I believe that this happens where in a household you do have a husband who is slacking off and who's lazy, they don't want to do it, they do weaponize incompetence, whatever, so that the wife will do everything. 100% there are people out there, there are households like that exist, and maybe also the opposite where the woman is the one weaponizing incompetence or being lazy and not doing anything, so then the husband's doing all of it. Like, no question there are households out there like that, but these ones that are posting on TikTok, like, it could be a real scenario where that is how their life is, or they could also be doing it for the views. Obviously. To make monies. Stuff just for the views. Some couples are dysfunctional, but this is definitely seek sympathy views. Yeah, because, like, if you're going on and posting it on TikTok, you're obviously, like, doing that for a reason. Whether that be for the views or you're actually genuinely really frustrated and and like posting about it, whatever. My last real boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, she was like, I do all the work and she just relaxes. A household should be done by both parties, work together. Yeah, I am in agreement with that. In agreement. If you're both working full-time, then the household chores need to be equally distributed. If one person is working and the other person is a stay-at-home spouse, then the stay-at-home spouse should take on more of the household, maintaining the household and all that stuff, but the one working should still help out a little bit. Like, at least clean up after yourself. Maybe offer to do a couple of things for them, especially on weekends. Which I know is most people's days off from their job, but if you don't offer to do some of the household stuff and let your at-home spouse have a day off, well then when do they get a day off? When do they get a day off? Kind of thing, you know? It kind of feels like the whole I set up my camera to record myself crying, so sad, have sympathy for me type thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So you never know, but like 100% there are households out there like this, regardless of if these ones on TikTok are real or not.
In 2 days, this is disgusting. For 2 days, I don't care if kids are involved. There's no excuse for this.
I just mopped there.
Like, this looks scripted. Am I in the way?
Disgusts me to my core. While she's cleaning up all of the mess that him and the kids made, he's walking through, not helping at all, and then walking over where she's just mopped. There's like, I don't know, you could not pay me to be in a relationship like this. This, to me, reads as some form of self-sabotage or self-harm. It makes no sense. And I'm not sure what her angle with this is.
Oh, God.
Like, okay, yeah, now you've got the whole living room to do because you've got a useless husband. What is the point? I don't understand. I don't get it. And mind you, these same people do not show this level of uselessness at work, in front of their boss, in front of their colleagues, in front of their friends. They don't demonstrate this lack of care with their hobbies or with things that interest them or any other aspect of their life. It's specifically when it comes to domestic labor, more often than not. And if your partner does display that level of incompetence everywhere in their life, dump them. What are you doing? You are dating a loser. Fix that. And as a shock to absolutely no one, it is these same guys that throw absolute fits about their wives and girlfriends no longer being attracted to them because they look at them as another child in the house. No one wants to fuck that. It is these same people that wonder why women ran from marriage in droves.
Oh my God, my wife had to clean up all my mess and do the dishes and do the laundry and put the kids to bed all by herself, and she doesn't want to have sex with me now. Why? Oh my God. I hate that stupid shit. Remember, kids, you don't need to post your marital struggles online for literally everyone to see. Some things should stay private.
Second they were legally and
Number of
financially able
divorces.
to. Why the divorce rate is so high. Why the birth rate is so low. Why the happiest demographic of women are single and childless. And all the while, all of the competent and useful men who show up for their partners can keep a woman just fine. They're doing just fine. Must be a coincidence. You are not helping your wife with the chores. You are just doing the absolute bare minimum of maintaining a house and your own life. You're not babysitting your kids. You're just doing, again, the bare minimum required of a parent. And even that's too much a lot of the time. Now, this video is not necessarily to comment on traditional gender roles, although that is kind of wrapped up in this entire issue. You can absolutely choose to live by traditional gender roles and still not have this become an issue. Circling back to my previous comment about competent and useful men generally not having this problem. If you're pulling your weight,
I'm sorry. I hate when any person I talk to who is a wife and they have kids and they describe it as, oh yeah, my husband's babysitting the kids right now so I can go out. What? You mean they're watching? You mean they're watching the kids? They're watching the kids? Like, what?
regardless of what that looks like in your relationship, and the emotional labor and domestic and financial split in the relationship generally feels fair to both parties, then this doesn't tend to become an issue that grates on the relationship and eventually destroys it. But even that is apparently too difficult of a concept for some people. And before you start having outbursts in the comments like, well, men have to change tires and mow the lawn and we've got to fix the roof or whatever how often do you have to do that? How often do you have to change a tire? How often do you have to fix the roof? At what frequency do you have to do that? And now how often do women have to do the laundry, keep the house clean, look after kids, wash the dishes, do the groceries, cook every single meal?
Every day or at least every week.
Look after everyone, do school drop-offs and pick-up. Be on call 24/7 as a live-in psychologist, doctor, nurse, administration assistant, financial planner, nanny. Not to mention you can hire someone to mow the lawn. You can hire someone to change your oil. But you would have to hire a team of people to be on call 24/7 to match the amount of of unpaid labor that women do and have traditionally done in the house, especially mothers. You can't outsource emotional labor to Jim's mowing. Believe me, I have checked. Hiring someone to do all of the unpaid work that women do, by the way, would cost you around 255,000 Australian dollars every single year. Do you have that amount of money?
Holy
I don't think you
shit.
do. And that estimate is still very conservative because it's only based on the top 10 most time-consuming tasks listed by 6,000 mothers surveyed, and that still doesn't account for the fact that mothers are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is based on an 8-hour workday, which is not a luxury that any woman has. Mothers famously can't knock off after 8 hours. How much did your last car service cost? How much did you pay for someone to mow your lawn? Fucking not that. Not $255,000 a year. And it's not because men
Damn. Depends on where you live. Here in Louisiana, we have hurricane seasons, so you need to fix the roof quite often. I mean, still less than like laundry needing to be done every week and this and that. So let's say, but I feel like most people would not fix, I don't know, maybe I'm not familiar with this, but maybe people fix their own roof more often than I thought. I don't know, because I thought that was something that you usually hire people to do. I'm so sick of the unpaid labor line. Why is it unpaid labor when the mother does it, but when the father does it, he's babysitting the kids? Or, oh, big deal, husband did the dishes. I really don't know why it's being compared to labor anyways. Like, this is stuff that you just kind of have to do for your household. My dad has had to patch the roof a few times due to storms. A lot of people want to do the whole do it yourself with the roof instead of calling a roofer. Okay. For, like, here anyways, I have really only ever seen contractors working on roofs. But I guess maybe in places where it happens more often, then you might learn how to do it yourself. Would make more sense.
work more and are the breadwinners, and that's why this is happening. That's why there's this unequal division. It's not that at all, because even when women earn more and women are the breadwinners, they still do more of the domestic labor. This problem still stands. In marriages where women are the sole or primary breadwinners, they still spend more time on caregiving and housework compared to their husbands. Specifically, women in these marriages spend around 9.4 hours per week on caregiving and 7.3 hours on housework, while their husbands spend 4.4 and 1.4 hours respectively. So that is a huge difference, even when women are the breadwinners. So don't give me that shit. And this is from the 19th News. Even as the number of female breadwinners has tripled over the past 50 years, women who earn more than their husbands continue to do more childcare and housework. But honestly, we don't have the time or blood pressure medication to fully unpack that problem today. And again, I will remind you, healthy, competent, and emotionally stable men all over the world do not have this problem. Strike this balance just fine. And they are the ones watching this and not taking this personally because it's not about them. So if you're getting riled up by watching this, I invite you to reflect. And sometimes if women are really lucky, they will give birth to one baby and still end up with two.
Hey, what? Okay.
He pooped.
Yeah, dude.
What? Babe, he pooped, okay? So change it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what? Like, from what, I don't even know what I want to. Yeah, why are you yelling about poop? Yeah, exactly. Just change it. Why are you even why are you even telling her? Just take care of it. He pooped. Call an exorcist. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What did she say? Hold on, I have to go back. Did she actually say she's gonna do it? He pooped?
Okay. Yeah, dude.
You... Wait. He pooped. Okay? Do you want me to change him? No, it's fine. Just let him sit in this shit. It's okay. Nope. totally fine. I don't want you to change him. Just let him sit in his poop. What? What the hell? Come on. Oh, sad face. Okay.
Yeah, that face exactly. What a useless.
Okay, you know what? You know what? I have actually witnessed that myself. Yes, I have actually witnessed that, where I've been visiting someone and that exact scenario has happened. And I'm sitting there like, okay, why are you just change the diaper? Why are you yelling at each other to inform each other that the baby pooped themselves? Just do it. What
Useless
the hell?
man. She appears to be cooking or cleaning or doing something.
Yeah.
She's
Do
heavily
they panic?
pregnant.
Is
the
it
baby that I'm
cluelessness?
assuming is with the father has just shit itself, and he's still calling out to her to come and fix it. Are you fucking dumb? Like, are you in the head? What is going on? And this is just one of many reasons why the birth rate is plummeting faster than the stock market after Trump's tariffs. And one of the most common complaints you hear from women is men weaponizing incompetence around managerial labor, constantly expecting their wives or girlfriends to hold their hand through, again, really basic household chores or duties, just general life admin, and having to oversee absolutely everything from start to finish, lest the man everything up for some reason. So even if their husbands or boyfriends are technically doing the chore, it doesn't take any actual work off the woman to have to be constantly helicoptering their husband through very, very basic, simple tasks. And again, these men can be in managerial careers themselves. They'll manage a 12-person team with quarterly KPIs but can't figure out how to wipe a bench, and they expect you to believe that. This is the gender that constantly claims to be natural born leaders but can't lead their way through a grocery store, needs their girlfriend to tell them how to clean a microwave. Give me a fucking break.
When I have to send my husband to the store.
Oh no, you're not.
Oh my gosh.
No, we're not printing out
Hell no.
pictures for grown fucking adult men. That's not what we're doing.
However, I will say, if you're the one who does the grocery shopping all the time, okay? You're the one that goes to the grocery store, you're the one that picks out the stuff to buy, then yes, I will, I don't know, play defense in the fact that the person who doesn't do it all the time won't really know their way around the grocery store, nor will they 100% know off the top of their head all the brands that you buy and this and that, okay? Okay? But, like, you should not have, like, this is too much. This is too much. A whole map? Come on. Yeah, the map is too much. The map is too much. I agree with indications, but this is borderline bait. Yeah. No, the map is way too much, and honestly, I would even say the pictures is a little bit. I would just make a list and maybe put the brand, and that's about it. Grocery shopping, there are multiple kinds of items with the same name and different line. Like canned green peas. Then there's salted, lightly salted, no salt. Yeah, exactly. Just send a picture of the items on the phone. Yeah. For me, just a simple list with the item and brand, maybe. And then if you want it like lightly salted or whatever, that's fine. Or even pictures is okay as well. Pictures is, I've had to do that with Jell-O, and it doesn't bother me. But a whole map is no. No. What kind of sanitary stuff am I buying, wifey? There's 1,000 different brands. Exactly. I would be like, well, the purple Pine Sol. Get the purple Pine Sol. This guy sounds like your Instacart shopper. Yeah. Kinda does.
Sorry, I can't really
my gosh.
see this. Is that a picture?
I'm not gonna lie though, that shopping list with the pictures and stuff is actually really cute. It's really cute.
a fucking mango or an avocado. Does he not know what a fucking avocado is? What? And a full map of where everything goes. This is pitiful. This is not it, girl.
map
Stand
kills
up.
me.
This is so fucking embarrassing. If you need to be coddled like this and treated like a 5-year-old as a grown adult man, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should genuinely be so embarrassed over your entire existence. How do you have friends if this is how you function? Check yourself into a fucking daycare and be done with it.
I think sometimes about my friend who divorced her husband, or told him that she was going to divorce him the same day as his mom's birthday, because she was the one who cleaned the house, spent all day cooking a really fancy meal because it was like a milestone birthday and the mother-in-law had a really rough year, and bought her gifts.
Immediately, not her mother, doing this for his.
Huh? Hold on, I'm gonna listen to that again. I think sometimes about my friend who divorced her husband, told him that she was gonna divorce him the same day as his mom's birthday. Oh, because it was his mom's birthday, but she's the one who did all the cleaning and stuff. But I feel like that needs a bit more backstory. Like, was he working that day? Was he working that day? I work at a superstore and had to help a guy buy tampons for his daughter. He had no clue what was going on. It was cute. Yeah, especially for something like that. Like, I would not expect to send Jello to the store and be like, "Oh, can you just get me some pads?" No. No, I have sent him to the store for that, but I send him a picture of what they look like, because no, 100% with something like that, they'll like stand there being like, which ones? which pads? They're all, this one has wings and this one has no wings and this one says it's scented and this is unscented. Which ones do I buy?
The same day as his mom's birthday, because she was the one who cleaned the house, spent all day cooking a really fancy meal because it was like a milestone birthday. And
but what was he like? Was he working?
And bought her gifts.
Immediately, not her mother, doing this for his mother. So let's say, and a divorce. Do tell.
The only thing she asked him to do, she texted him a couple times to pick up flowers. She told him like a week out. And then told him the day before, and then reminded him day of, please pick up flowers on your way home.
So 3 reminders.
He shows up at the door, walks in, no flowers.
Shocking.
She's like, hi, where are the flowers? And he's like,
oh God,
I didn't get them. And she goes, okay, you need to turn around, keep your shoes on, turn around, go back out, pick up some flowers. They live down the street from a grocery store.
Oh, that's even worse. It's not even her mother. This is your mother. She's asked you to do one thing for your mother. Prepped everything. She's organized everything else. She's cooked all day. Like, what are you... Come on. And you live just down the road from the grocery store?
He pitches a fit. He's like, I just got off work. Do you have any idea what kind of day I've had? It's been long. It's been hard.
No day is so long and hard at work that you can't stop in and get some flowers.
See, that was the wrong reaction from him. Because I am okay giving the benefit of the doubt that some people have not the best memory. I am guilty of it myself, where I've been told multiple times, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this, and lo and behold, you forget. However, so yes, she's frustrated because she reminded him 3 times during the week to get the flowers, and he shows up with no flowers. So when she said, please turn around and go get the flowers, he should have just literally been like, okay, honey, I'm sorry, I'll be right back. That's it. End of story. But for him to have reacted the way like that after she was cleaning and everything, no. No. I would be pissed. Instead of being asked to get flowers and he comes home with a bag of flour. Oh my God, I would die. I would die. Honey, what's your flow like is an essential question men need to learn. I don't know if they need, like, if you need to know that. But just know what pad preference they like.
for the woman who birthed you when you lived just down the road from the grocery store. If you lived ages away, I would start to understand that, but they don't.
And then you can come back, kick your shoes off, and relax. Like, I'll make you a drink, it'll be fine. He comes back with 2 bags of all-purpose flour.
No.
Now, she had texted him FLOWERS,
Oh,
so he knew.
No.
So
oh
like
my
this was some-
god.
a-
Oh, so he
No. 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 Nope. 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 Bro, I would literally just close the door in his face and go to bed. No way. Are you that freaking stupid? No. No. Come on.
He's done this, and he's done this on purpose. This is way worse.
Maybe he'll
This is
shape
like-
it into
This is
flowers.
beyond weaponized incompetence.
He just was being an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
took-
you know what? If that's even worse if he did it on purpose just to be an asshole in spite. No. Hell no.
Flowers, the bags of all-purpose flour, and they were like the big ones, put them dead center on the table. And just left them there. And he's like, what are you doing? And she said, well,
I would've put them in a
we
vase.
need a centerpiece, and these are flowers, so it'll have to do.
I respect the commitment to the pettiness, considering he's committed to the pettiness.
So because she's not taking the bait, he's pissed. He's so grouchy. She just goes and makes him a little
Wow.
He's like, you just sit back, honey. I got this. So then, of course, his mother shows up, and he's putting on a show, acting like he had anything to do with all the good scents coming from the kitchen, and oh, the house looks great. Mother-in-law walks in and is like, what's this about? Why are there 2 sacks of flour on the dining table? So my friend just looks her dead in the eye, and she goes, well, I told your son to please pick up some flowers. I reminded him about a week ago, and yesterday, and today, and then he walked in without them, and I said, honey, can you please go and get the flowers that I asked you to
He
get?"
immediately is just a dick. Like, this is just a dick move, and again, it's for
Oh, if someone told me my son did that, oh, I would. Oh, he would not hear the end of it. Oh my gosh. Literally, I'd be like, son, are you actually serious? Are you actually serious? What's wrong with nose rings? What's wrong with nose rings? Can't believe he made that mistake for real. Oh, yes, it was a real actual mistake.
his mother. Why is he being so snarky and petty and an asshole about something she's doing for his mother? And she's done all of the work, and he just had to do one thing.
And he came back with these because he was mad at me. And she's saying all this with a smile on her face, pouring a
Fucking
glass of wine
child.
for her mother-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
Mother-in-law looks at her son and goes, you did what? Because that's the kind of shit that his dad used to do to her.
Oh
Which is why they
no.
weren't married anymore.
Oh.
She divorced his dad because he was an asshole.
Oh.
And he would do all this kind of shit to go out of his way to make her life harder. So,
Oh,
like,
Oh,
my God, this is getting worse and worse. So he's already seen how this ends up. He's got a real world example of how
And
this
then
ends
he
up.
still
He's already
does it.
witnessed that this behavior results in divorce and also really negatively affected his own mother, and he's doing it anyway. And now he's divorced. Masterful gambit. sir.
Wow. So instead of learning from his dad, this is what not to do, he learned that that's what he will do. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Sadira.
goes smoothly. As soon as the door closes, from
It's not the intended lesson to learn.
mother-in-law leaving, she turns to him and says, I want a divorce. You can sleep in the guest room. And it's funny.
Oh
she
my
waited
gosh.
until he was asleep in the guest room, and she left and got a hotel. So he was sleeping in the guest room, which he hates. He hated that
Oh my.
guest room, which he
Damn.
hates. He hated that room, and she was like, I'm not sleeping here either. Bye. And she checked into like a 4-star hotel on his credit card.
Wow.
We have to stand. We have to stand. That is queen behavior. That is standing on business. Oh, I
Wow.
love this woman. I love this woman. Also, he's copied his dad, which it didn't work for his dad. Now hasn't worked for him. And he's lost a wife that was evidently doing absolutely everything for him, pulling everyone's weight. And now she's divorced his ass. Honestly, queen behavior. Iconic. I love her. My ex-husband told me that he couldn't pick our sons up from school because he didn't know which school they go to. And most reasonable people would read that and think, surely not. Surely no one is that detached from their kid's life. Wrong. This is also a pretty concerning trend of just fathers knowing absolutely nothing about their kids.
Are you and your son pretty close?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah? And would you consider yourself a pretty involved parent?
Yeah.
What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one, because I don't know.
You really don't know his
No, I
birthday?
don't.
Father of the year. That one I'll give a pass. I would probably know my kids' birthdays. I think that's important to know, but I don't really know like my family members' birthdays. I'm not a big birthday
I'm not good with
rememberer,
birthdays.
so I can't pass judgment there.
Is your
I
daughter's
am
favorite
not
subject
good with
in school?
birthdays.
Social study.
Is that true?
No.
What grade is your daughter going into?
9th grade.
What's the name?
Okay, that one you should know. That one you should know definitely what grade your daughter's in.
What's the name of your daughter's school?
Gotta know that one.
Ash Creek Elementary School.
Oh my
You gotta
god,
know the
that's
name
so
of your daughter's
funny.
School. That is sad.
River Creek? Something Creek.
I think he just wants to go to the creek.
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Please know this one.
Brown.
All right, let's look. That is incorrect.
They're blue. I have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
You definitely
What
gotta
the
know that
hell?
one. You definitely gotta know that one. You don't know what color f***ing eyes your kids have? Where are you?
What is your daughter's birthday?
May 17th. Oh, no, it's the 14th, and I...
Like as a parent, you should, depending on how
Wow.
many kids you have, I don't know, but you should probably know your kids' birthdays.
Can you name your daughter's teacher?
Mrs. Jones.
Nope.
Mrs. Moore. It's not Moore?
No. Who was my elementary school teacher?
Okay, so at least he's remembered someone's school teacher.
Can you name their teachers?
Of course I cannot.
What are your daughter's birthdays?
You know what? I doubt I would remember all my kids' teachers' names either. Welcome in, filthy animal! Thank you for 3 months! Let's go!
You do this to me.
What about her?
I give up.
Any guesses?
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Okay, that's bad. That's bad. That's really bad. That's a level of disinterested in your child's life that I don't think I can excuse with having a bad memory for birthdays.
Can you name the best friend of each of your daughters?
Mari Carmen Rojas, Jimena Lopez, Adamari Lopez, Cristina Cornejo.
And that is my whole point. That's my whole point. I don't need to see anymore.
Can you give us the name of
Oh
their
my
doctor?
gosh.
Fadi Torres,
Okay. Can you give us the name of their dentist?
Games Dentalland.
Concerning putting this much information about your
Wow.
children on the internet, I will say that. But like, of course the mother's gonna know all of this because she's involved in her kids' lives. I don't love drawing immediate conclusions about their entire life based off
Well, if she handles all that stuff, of course she would know.
interview on the street. But it does speak volumes that this is such a common thing and it's just accepted as normal.
Does your son have any allergies?
Okay,
gotta know
that
this
you
one.
should know. That should.
Oh, that's a big
You
one.
should know that.
See, this is you
That's something important. Actually, like that's actually important to know.
gotta know that at least. Medically, you do need to know that because in an emergency, like you have to know if your kid is allergic to penicillin. That's such a bare minimum, it's not even funny.
What are your daughter's middle names?
We got Giovanna, Louise Wilson. We got Evelina Louise Wilson and Giovanna.
Is he mixing up their first
Oh
names?
my god.
Never mind the middle name, which is also wrong. This got the first names. Like this, it's funny, but it's like really sad. So that's about all I can stomach for one day, really. Drop your best or worst stories of weaponized incompetence that you've witnessed or you've been a part of, or maybe that you've done and hopefully learned from. In the comments below, I'll be reading and replying to a bunch of them. Remember, if he can calculate his crypto losses from 2018, he can figure out how a
Oh my
vacuum cleaner
gosh.
works.
Oh my gosh. Okay, to be fair, I feel like a lot of this video was not actually dealing with weaponized incompetence as much as it was dealing with assholes, just outright assholes. Cuz it's hard to say cuz we didn't really get the men's side of things. Like, you know, what was their excuse? Did they literally be like, "Oh, I don't know how to do the dishwasher," or whatever? Because that's weaponizing incompetence, but if you're just being an asshole, well, then you're just being an asshole. Wow. Wow. I legit mistook my middle name the other day in Chibi. Yeah, a lot of the... Like, when it comes to questions like that, honestly, like, if you're not the one dealing with all that stuff most of the time, then yeah, you're not really gonna know the answers. The only one that I agree that both parents should know, like, 500% is your kids' medical stuff, okay? If they're allergic to something, you should know that, and you should also know how to deal with it in emergency situations. Things like your kids' teachers' names, doctor name, dentist name, like, that's whatever. That you can just write down somewhere. You don't need to know it off the top of your head. She was entirely on the female side, only putting it males are just dumb. Yeah, and in the beginning of the video, she did say that, like, it's not just a one-sided thing, that there are women who weaponize incompetence, and there are other scenarios. However, for this video specifically, she did focus on the most common one, which was the females doing all the work versus the men. That's the usual feminist thing. You'd only hear the other side through the mouth of the wife or girlfriend, which may not be right. Yeah, I like to take approaches to these things by hearing both sides of the stories. But when you watch a video, more than likely it's going to be focused on, like, one side. And in this case, she did say she would be focusing on the one side.